Oh, wait a minute. That's the My Radio Show hotline. This man played for 6 major league teams, including the Angels from 1976 to 1987. He slugged 147 home runs and won a World Series as a member of the 1984 Detroit Tigers. Ladies and gentlemen, Rupert Jones on My Radio Show with Rick Garcia. Welcome, Rupert. How are you?
I'm doing good, Rick. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Listen, we're going to talk a little bit about the past and your career, but what's happening right now in baseball is a mess. 3 managers have either been fired or quit over this sign stealing scandal that involved getting cameras to steal catcher signs so that the hitters would know what the pitches are. It involved first the Houston Astros. Next, it's going to possibly affect the Boston Red Sox. Rupert, what are your thoughts?
Well, my first question to you, Rick, is why they let Carlos Beltran go? His participation had no effect upon anything because he hadn't managed anything in the last 2 years.
You're right. He was about to manage his first game, but he was a player with the Astros, and he was one of the players named in the report as possibly being involved.
He did, but his participation didn't affect anything, though. That's the point I'm trying to make. He never managed, so even though his name was mentioned, he never managed.
Well, now, do you think that the teams should get in trouble for what they're doing?
Yeah, I think that should be a penalty, and I think they made a stiff penalty, but there has to be a penalty because if not, then you're gonna have cameras in the dugout transferring, people will be able to look at it.
Yeah, information all over the place. You're right. Now, so the Astros beat the Dodgers in 2017 in the World Series. The Red Sox beat the Dodgers in 2018. Do you think they should take their World Series titles away from them?
Well, they had Verlander, they had Charlie Morton, they had a couple other guys that had a lot to do with that, and they weren't stealing those signs. And then they had Price, Sales, Porcello, and a couple other guys, Evaldi. So those guys, they weren't stealing any signs. So anytime you win, it's all about pitching at the end of the day.
Well, so no players have been punished yet. There seems to be an uproar among fans. Do you think the players should be in trouble, even though the manager, and in the case of the Astros, they say the general manager was aware of it?
Why would you penalize the player?
I guess they're the one that are relaying the information to their teammates.
Yeah, but why would you? I'm just asking. Do you think they should penalize the players? I should ask you that question.
Well, I think here's the thing. I hate cheating. I just in anything. I don't cheat in cards. I'll play my kids in Uno. I don't cheat in Uno either. I just don't like cheating. Now, let's be honest with each other. I played baseball most of my life, and I clearly wasn't a major leaguer like yourself, Rupert. But we always try to figure out what the other team's signs were, whether it was the third base coach or the catcher. So you guys have been stealing signs forever. But, man, when you're setting up cameras, and in the case of the Red Sox, going into a back room and looking at the video and then coming back out, and there's even a report that maybe some of these guys might have been wearing electronic devices under their uniforms. Man, that's crazy. I mean, are you okay with that?
I'm not okay with technology cheating, no. And stealing signs is not cheating. If they put the signs down and you know the signs, that's not cheating.
Right. I got you on that.
They need to change their signs. If I can read their signs, they need to change their signs.
And they do, by the way, right? Most teams will change up, maybe, right?
They'll go first signal when a guy on second base, second sign, or third sign.
Right.
Okay, but they'll have a kind of like a protocol with how they would do it with a man on second base.
Yeah.
Now, if I know what you're throwing and I'm on second base, that's not cheating. You need to do a better job of disguising your signs.
Right.
The third base coach, when I played, they had a guy that sit in the dugout, and by the third or fourth inning, he had your signs from the third base coach.
Right, and which is, I think everybody's in on that. Everybody knows that's happening. Both teams are doing it. This thing really, though, just went overboard, don't you think?
That's technology.
Yeah. Well, that's
technology. Technology takes the human aspect out of the game. And there's always going to be a powerful human aspect in the game of baseball.
I agree.
Any sport you play.
Let's hope so. Otherwise, you have a bunch of robots playing in the future. Former Major Leaguer and World Series champion Rupert Jones is on My Radio Show. Rupert, you received a scholarship offer to play wide receiver in college. Why did you?
Hold on, Rick. I got one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I always say superstars make the numbers, and bean counters count them up.
That's true. That's true. You received a scholarship offer to play wide receiver in college. Why did you pass that up for baseball?
Well, I like baseball more, and baseball was a game I had played all my life. Football is a game I played two times in my life, the ninth grade and the 12th grade. So I was not as familiar with football. I played football my senior year in high school because I wanted to do it. I had played baseball, I played basketball, and I wanted to play football my last year in high school. So I played football. But other than that, I had no ambition of playing football any further than high school.
You were in a unique position as a Major League Baseball player. You were around when they had an expansion draft. In fact, Rupert Jones was the number one pick of the Seattle Mariners in the 1976 expansion draft. Rupert, do you remember, because this was a big deal, they made a big deal out of it, and somebody special called out the number one pick of the draft, and it was your name. Who called out your name? Do you remember?
I was in Venezuela at the time, so I didn't know that I had got picked up in the expansion draft to the following day after the draft.
You didn't have an agent or anybody calling you?
I didn't have an agent. I was in the minor leagues.
Okay.
I didn't need an agent in the minor league.
All right. So the great thing is, when your name was called, there was a huge celebrity entertainer who was part of the ownership team of the
Danny Kaye.
That's
Danny
right.
Kaye was the owner at that time.
That's right.
I know that.
Danny Kaye called your name. Now, this means a lot to me because I used to love this guy's movies when I was a kid. These two young kids that are working with me in the studio, they have no idea who Danny Kaye is. But I just thought that was a neat piece of trivia. By the way, you were an all-star, a two-time all-star in 77, also in 1982, but you had a setback in 1978. Do you remember what happened to you in 78?
1978, I tore my knee.
Okay, you tore your knee.
I was in New York. I was in New York and playing against the Yankees, and I tore my knee. And I had knee surgery, and I played the last 2 months on one leg.
All right. Did anything else happen to you? And I'm doing my research. I could be wrong on this. Anything else happen to you? Did you ever get sick or any? You have any scars?
I had an emergency operation in May of that year.
All right. What was that?
May of 78.
And what happened?
I was in Boston, and my appendix was getting ready to burst, and I had an emergency operation. And right before the surgery, I was on the gurney. And and I had just seen the book Coma. I just read the book. I just read the book Coma.
That's a bad idea, by the way.
I'm sitting on the gurney. Yeah, I'm sitting on the gurney, and he's about to give me anesthesia. And I looked at him. I said, "I am going to wake up, aren't I?" What you mean? I said, "Well, I just read the book Coma, man, and a lot of people in Boston wasn't waking up."
I think
everybody in the surgery room, operation room, was laughing except me.
And by the way,
I was dead serious.
Well, see, and the thing about an appendicitis these days, if it isn't too serious, they do it arthroscopically, so they just leave a little hole there. They had to cut you wide open to get that appendix out, didn't they?
I got about a 5-inch, 6-inch scar.
And that was a long recovery back in those days too, wasn't it?
Yes, I was out for about 2 months, month and a half.
All right, here, you ready for a little trivia now? This is Rupert Jones trivia. You want to try this?
Okay.
Okay, Rupert Jones on my radio show. Rupert, of course, won a World Series with the Tigers in 1984. All right. Do you have the bell? Patrick, you got the bell over there? Just see if he gets it right, or the buzzer. Let's see if he gets this right.
Yes.
True or false, you hit a home run out of the stadium and over the roof at Tiger Stadium in Detroit?
Oh, that's true.
That is correct. What did they call you? They gave you a nickname after you hit it out of the stadium. What did they call you after that?
They called me Rooftop.
Rooftop Rupert, that's right. But what did that feel like? That had to be, listen, for any of us who've ever played baseball, and I don't care whether it's Little League, Pony, if you hit a home run, there's nothing like hitting a home run. I say this to people all the time. But to hit it out of a stadium, what was that like?
It was a tremendous feeling, but when I first hit it, I didn't think it was going that far. A lot of times you hit a baseball, especially when you hit it good, you don't feel it. Mm-hmm. But, when you hit it, you got a home run. But I didn't know I had hit it that far. That same year, I hit one off the right center field wall that skipped out of the stadium in Detroit.
Boy, that's smash.
Probably my best shot, though, I hit that year was in Chicago. We were playing the White Sox. And Tom Seaver was pitching. The first time I faced Tom Seaver, I hit a double off of him with the bases loaded. I almost had a grand slam. The next 3 times I faced Tom Seaver, he threw me fastballs. He cut fastballs on my wrist, on my hands, and he broke my back 3 times in a row. It's also got a true story. I faced him again in Chicago 3 years later, and the first pitch he throws is a cut fastball. He breaks my bat again. So I'm saying, Jimmy Christmas, he's broken 3 of my bats the last 3 times I faced him. And I haven't seen him in 3 years, and he still knew what to throw me. So I'm sitting in the dugout, and Larry Herndon got a bat that's a little bigger than my bat. It was 35 inches, 35 ounces. So I said, Larry, let me use your bat. And he said, what you mean? I said, I want to use your bat. I'm gonna go up to the plate next time. I'm gonna take your bat. He said, all he's gonna do is break it. He done broke the last 3. You told me. I said, Larry, give me the bat. So I went to the plate, and he threw me something. I think it was that cut fastball again, but he didn't get it inside enough. And when I hit it, I said, yes, I got him. Okay, so I knew it was a home run. And then I looked up. I said, oh man, it's gonna go in the second deck. And then I looked up again, and the ball just disappeared into the night. It had cleared the wall in the old Comiskey ballpark.
Oh, wow! That old Comiskey. Anybody ever throw at you?
Well, let me finish the story first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I heard a long breath. I didn't know. Go ahead, Rupert.
You never gave me a chance.
I'm sorry.
So I looked up the list. Look up the list one day and see who all the visiting ball players who hit home runs in the old Comiskey ballpark. Okay, I want you to look up that list one day.
All right.
And see all the visiting players who have hit home runs out of Comiskey.
All right. I'm going to do that. I can't look it up now. Is that okay?
That's okay. You can look it up one day.
Anybody ever throw the ball at you on purpose?
Yes.
Who was that? Do you remember anybody in particular?
Woody Fryman. Woody Fryman was left-hand pitcher. He threw heavy ball. His ball was heavy. Some guys throw a ball and it's like a brick. So Woody wound up, and he was looking dead at my back. I mean, he was looking dead at my back. And he hit me right in the middle of the back. And the ball hit and like stuck to my body and rolled down my back. So I'm going to first base, right? I get halfway and I fall down to my knees because I can't breathe. It knocked the wind out of me.
Delayed reaction.
Oh man, I passed out. I mean, I said, everybody looked at me. What's wrong with you, man? I said, man, I can't breathe.
Oh, can I ask you another trivia question?
Go ahead.
All right. One season with the California Angels, you hit 21 home runs, but another player on your team hit more. Who was that?
Oh my goodness! Jimmy Christmas 21. Was that the first or second year? I think I hit 23 one year with the Angels, didn't I?
I found a year where you hit 21, and it's significant because the guy that beat you out for the home runs, a lot of people know who he is.
Well, it must have been Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie who?
Reggie Jackson.
All right, Reggie Jackson. Yeah, you got it right there. It's hard to go back and remember these big moments, isn't it?
Oh man, you got me on that one.
Listen, let's close out. No, you got it right. Let's close out on the one final thought on all this cheating going on. You made a comment to me yesterday. We were on the phone talking about doing this interview, and you said to me, you named a pitcher in particular. You said if this particular pitcher knew that we were stealing signs, he would do something about it. Do you remember what you said?
If Nolan Ryan knew you were stealing his signs, he would have buried you at home plate. Okay, let him hear that noise coming out the dugout.
the trash cans, yeah, the trash cans, yeah. and then he would turn around and throw it. Did you face Nolan?
Yes, sir.
Oh, what was that like?
Oh, I got another story for you. All right, Nolan Ryan. I saw him at the airport in 2012. My wife I had known for 15 years, so I had been telling her about Nolan Ryan since 1997. So now it's 2012, and we see Nolan Ryan at the airport in Austin, Texas. I said, baby, they go Nolan Ryan. So I go up to Nolan Ryan Rupert Jones. And he looked at me like he didn't know who I was. So you know how you walk in the security line, you kind of like go around, and he came through the security line and said, "You hit a home run off me." I said, "That was 30 years ago." He said, I'm still mad about it.
They have long memories, don't they, those pitchers?
Oh, he struck out over 5,000 hitters. Mm-hmm. I hit a home run off him 30 years ago, 33 to be exact, and he still remembers that one home run.
He's holding a grudge, huh?
Yes, he was.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, go ahead.
Hold on.
No, go ahead, Rupert.
But you know what I told him though?
What?
I said, "Don't worry about it, Nolan. It was the first hit I had off you in 2 years."
Did that make him feel better? I hope it did.
I don't think so.
Oh, those are some great stories. Ladies and gentlemen, former Major Leaguer and World Series champion Rupert Jones on my radio show. Rupert, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
Rick.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to plug the book I'm in the process
Oh, absolutely.
of writing.
Please, we'd love to hear that. What are you working on?
I wrote a book about my life, about what has transferred in my life, and I had some things happen to me that was unfortunate that left a lasting effect upon me. So I wrote my story from when I was a child till now as an old man. It's a very interesting story, and you'll learn a lot of things about me that maybe you don't know. A lot of people don't know. And I think what I'm writing about is going to help a lot of people.
What's the name of the book, Rupert?
I'm not telling you, Rick.
What the? Come on!
I haven't quite decided on the title yet. I got a couple of them running through my mind, but I haven't quite decided on the title yet.
All right. So will you come back and let us know when you get the title and you're ready to publish and release something? Will you come back on with us?
No, I would definitely come on back on with you. As a matter of fact, you should keep checking with me every 2 months or every month or so.
I will. You know something's going to happen in the game of baseball, and I'm going to have to check in with you and set everything right. All
okay.
Right. Thank you, Rupert. Appreciate it. Rupert Jones, ladies and gentlemen, on my radio show. We thank you so much, Rupert, for joining us. I love when you hear from the guys from the old days, and they got some great stories. There's nothing like them.